Welcome to the Angler Roundtable, Lake Eufaula, National Professional Fishing League Stop 1. Your host, Mr. Fat Cat Newton.
Bobby, what's going on, buddy?
We brought the Ohio gang, Mr. Rick Langendorfer.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
And Mr. Craig Burwell.
What's going down?
All right, folks, what's shaking, baby? Fat Cat Newton coming at you. Here we are, man. Lake Eufaula inaugural event. This is something we've been talking about and waiting for. It feels like since '87, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I mean? First day of practice, right?
Yeah,
Huge.
big deal.
Yeah, man. So was it what you thought it was going to be? You know, we had the big tournament here the other week, and there was some stuff going on. The guys were using that forward-facing sonar, cracking in brush piles. Did you guys go out there and scope that out today?
It did. I went and spent probably 2 hours out deep looking around, and it was kind of hit and miss. It was a little slower than I expected out deep, you know, so I kind of plan beat it and went looking dirty water and all that kind of stuff, and it's really hit and miss right now. I thought with the weather they had last week that they'd be rushing the bank, and I think this weather the last 2 days is kind of like paused them a little bit, kind of said, hey, let's not go as shallow as we wanted to go. And so I think come like Wednesday night, Thursday, Friday, they're going to be.
Yeah, because we got that warming trend all week, right?
Yeah, it's going to get stupid Thursday, Friday.
How about you, Craig? Did you go out there and try to do the same thing?
Yeah, today, well, the first day I just kind of wanted to check out water and look at the watercolors. I mean, it's too early for me to formulate a game plan, especially with the conditions changing as much as they are. So, you know, when the bigger circuits were here, or last week or whatever, the fish were moving, but like Rick said, when he got that cold front that came in, it kind of shut him back. So we're just going to have to play that conditions, the weather conditions.
Exactly.
I mean, the wind can position fish right now, so current can be key. There's a lot of different factors that's going into this event, and it's fun. It's going to be fun, man. I'm stoked.
I'm ready to go.
Now, both of you guys familiar? Let me do this.
Yeah.
Got a little bit of feedback, boss? Look, we're doing live, guys. You know, don't panic. This is. You better get used to this. I'm just kidding. Don't fire me. All right, there we go. We good? I can't even hear myself now. All right, that's a wrap, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I'm kidding. No, we're good there. That sounds good, Bob.
Yeah.
So, like, Rick, now, y'all at home, we're going to be doing this. Rick, Craig, we're learning these dudes. These dudes been fishing for a while. They can whack them and stick them, but those are guys that haven't been in the limelight. That's why we're here.
Yeah.
We're going to give these guys a chance to get in the limelight. So we're learning them right now. You're learning them with me. Rick, is this your first time on Eufaula? Are you familiar with Eufaula? What's your take?
I came down in January to pre-fish. And
For the first time ever?
First time ever was in
okay.
January. So I'm a northern guy. I'm Ohio smallmouth and Michigan smallmouth. So I've been to Kentucky Lake, and then I go to Florida every once in a while. But those are the only lakes I go.
What was your first take on Eufaula when you came in January?
It's way bigger than it looks on a map. You know, when you get out in that main channel, it's a lot of room. It's a lot of area to cover, and it's one of those things. It's like, man, we only have 3 days to cover 83 miles of this place. You know, and it's impressive though. You look at the history, you look at the videos, and it's, you know, any flip can be an 8-pounder.
Right on.
You know, and that's something. Us Ohio guys are definitely not used to that.
So both of you do. We're both Ohio guys, right?
Ohio fishermen, yeah.
So you guys already know each other. You guys have been fishing against each other for a while?
Yeah, I've taken his lunch money. He's taken my lunch money a couple hundred times.
It's been fun.
It's been a good year. Good couple of years.
So how do you feel about Eufaula? Are you familiar with Eufaula or what?
Well, with Eufaula, I've been here. I just came down for pre-practice, but just like I said, it's just covering. It's so big. You got to see so much water, and that's the key. I mean, to really sit here and say that I went fishing and I was searching and looking. This is the time of year where one little, like 6 inches can make a difference in like water clarity to where finding some good water. Yeah. So it's just pretty much right now, it's just covering that water.
What is good water?
I would
for you?
We're live, right?
Yeah, man. What's good water, though?
No, right now.
I mean,
so when you go to different parts of the country, what I'm learning is you have some places like this time of the year, and it gets a little stained. Well, there can be too dirty, too dingy, and then there can be too clear. And today, you know, we had those post front conditions, you know, bright bluebird skies, and it seemed like a lot of those fish were on hard targets, you know, and it was like, you know, slow rolling spinner baits, things that we do back at home to get bites, but it wasn't consistent enough to actually say that I'm locked in, you know. So for good water clarity here on Eufaula, if I was to come, I like to find that 2-foot visibility to where, you know, and that hard, firm bottom. So finding that firm bottom right now and those transitions, if you can find river channel swings adjacent to a flat, I mean, it's just textbook fishing, guys, and this place is phenomenal, so I've enjoyed it.
So
I'm just the exact opposite, actually.
Is that right?
Yeah, exact opposite. You know, yeah, I'm a smallmouth guy, so I'm really comfortable in 30 feet of water. But when it comes to large,
me, dude.
Me neither.
I've never thrown a lure in 30 foot on purpose.
I ain't got that much line.
Exactly. But the last couple of years, that's how our friendship's actually grown. Is the last couple of years, because I focused on largemouth and I focused on just that species, and I'm good with 4 inches of visibility. You know, I found it was really good the last couple. Today was really good the last couple hours in like mud water.
But I think that mud, what happens is it turns
warm.
over a little bit, and
Yeah.
there's warm water coming in. It has a lot of nutrients in it. A lot of the bait moves into it. So, yeah, man, that's good stuff, though.
If you guys are watching this, stay on my creeks.
No spinner bait, no slow rolling spinner baits on laydowns.
So that are we looking at creeks? Are we fishing creeks? Is where it's at?
Yeah.
Creeks is kind of where it is, but where you get bit in those creeks is kind of how you put that pattern together.
Yeah.
You know, is it the first quarter section A, or is it section B or section C? So, yeah.
So with it being the first day of practice for you guys here right now, what's your take on the spawn? What do you think's going on out there right now?
Right now, I think we're in between waves right now. I think that first wave's finishing up because I caught a lot of post spawners. I did catch one really good one that was full. And yeah, so that's kind of telling me that next wave is really getting. It was probably on its way up, you know, Friday, Saturday, and then with today's 37-degree start in the morning and 52-degree water, it was like, eh.
What was the warmest water you found?
I found at 4 o'clock when I was pulling the boat out of the water, it was 63.
63, okay.
Yep, and at 11 o'clock today I found, you know, that 60, 61. So, man, it's right around the corner. It can happen so fast.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this tournament
They're
here
probably coming up
could
right
have
now.
big weights, man, for real. I mean, we
Let's
could
talk
see
about
some
big
hammer
weights.
bags, bro.
Yeah. What's a big bag? What are we talking about?
I mean,
Give me your prediction. Big bag for the tournament.
Big bag for a tournament, 24.93.
I'm going to say 25-10.
Okay. I've heard bigger so far, so you guys are in the ballpark. We got some guys out there that are pretty ambitious.
I've told these guys in the cabin that I think the first day we're going to see 3 bags over 25.
Really? You guys are lucky I'm not out there. I'd be 87-pound bag every day.
Well, you're a classic champ, right? You can't argue with the classic champ.
This is actually one of mine. I already won that. I'm just letting them show it off. Yeah. We'll see what happens.
We get that.
I've just been getting close to it just to get familiar with it.
Dude, well, let's talk about this. I've got you guys on here. We've talked about practice and everything. Let's talk about NPFL and coming on board with it. Something new, and it wasn't cheap.
No.
This is the real deal.
Scary.
Okay, elaborate on scary.
Scary. I mean, I've been fishing for a long time, and I've been fortunate enough to work with some great sponsors in the industry. I mean, you as well.
Yep.
And
let me stop you. When you say a long time, tell me how long and how old you are.
I am 39 years old, and I've been fishing for, man, this is my dream since I've been a kid. I mean, I can remember being 13 years old. My dad fished, he hunt. I mean, we just spent a lot of time in the outdoors, and he was a bass fisherman. You know, he didn't have a boat. He raised us, but at the same time, I mean, when I fished this is so funny. I fished a Boy Scout tournament, like a Boy Scout, like a little derby.
Yeah, kids
and
derby.
I won.
Yeah.
And when I
So when you were 39 years old fishing against Boy Scouts.
Oh, yeah. I was taking their money.
You finished
lunch
second
money.
then.
Yeah,
You finished second
second. I was better then.
No, go ahead, Bo.
No, but there's just, I would say 20 years, and I spent 10 years with Bass Pro Shops on the pro staff and Nitro. And, you know, this year we made some changes. The industry's changing, as you know. There's a lot of big moves going, a lot of things shaking up.
Yeah.
So I would say 20 years I've been fishing, man.
And I brought you off the scary part, though. You were saying about starting NPFL. You're saying it's kind of scary.
It is kind of scary just because when you're, like, fishing BFLs and Costas and stuff, and then you know, $30,000. Then you stop up, and now you're going to a corporate national level to approach these sponsors and stuff. So, I mean, there's growing pains.
Oh, yeah.
Just like with this league, we're going to experience growing pains.
You get used to hearing no a lot.
You do. But that's what I've learned about fishermen, and what makes experienced angler so good is that he goes out on the water. If the fish ain't there, he leaves and goes. He doesn't care to fail. If he hears no from a sponsor, he moves on.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the key, man. It's just, you know, really having that you can do it. I believe that I can do it. Yep. And, you know, am I going to go out here and light the world up? No. Am I going to have fun doing it? Absolutely, man. You know, and I'm going to put it together, you know, piece by piece, day by day.
There we go. All right, Rick, follow that, buddy.
I'm the exact opposite.
Hey, real quick.
Is that right?
Hey, real quick, guys. So we got a question. So I can see all the comments.
Okay, cool. Yeah, bring it on.
Point of order, right? Because we want transparency, right? Point of order.
Yeah.
Misty says you're 40 years old, not 39.
Oh, 40. Thanks.
Bro.
Thanks.
All the time,
Thanks.
bro.
Thanks, honey. I love you.
Back at you, B. And tell the viewers we can get questions.
Yeah, feel free. We got somebody on the monitor where we can take questions. We can do whatever you guys want to do. Interact with us any way you want. And come on, bring it.
We got the best secretary in the business with our questions.
That's right. We got boss man behind the screen. So
multiple jobs back there, man.
Well, Rick. So first of all, how did you hear about NPFL?
Actually, I'm part of Elite Angler, so that's owned by Al, and so that was kind of brought to my attention right away that, hey, this is going to be going. And then I started hearing the names of the people, the owners. I know Paul Benson. I've not worked with him, but I've worked at shows, the same shows that he's been at.
Sorry to hear that.
Well, yeah, I agree. Parties afterwards are great, though.
Yeah. He's a wild dude.
But then, I heard Brad Fuller. He's the owner of Mega Tackle, and I heard he's part of it. And, being that I'm part of 2K Jigs, we really know each other very well. Not really on the best terms, but we know each other pretty good. And so I kind of knew that, hey, this likelihood of this actually taking off. Because you hear it, every year you hear of, oh, we're going to do this. We got this going on. We got this series going on. And, well, yeah, when push comes to shove, it gets shoved.
So it was somewhat of an easy decision for you.
It was an easy decision. I put my resume in, and I'm the exact opposite of Craig. I grew up. My dad was a 12-year professional walleye guy.
Oh wow, okay.
I didn't start bass fishing until about 9 years ago.
Yeah, walleye guys aren't that fond of bass fishing.
They
right?
are completely opposite. I make fun of my dad. He's never been on my bass boat, and that's because he has to control where his casts go. Walleye guys can get out there and just sling that thing anywhere. Yeah. There's no trees, no rocks.
Troll around.
Yeah, they just troll. So. I kind of had to do it on my own thing. And
what's your PB walleye?
My PB walleye, we go by inches. They don't do pounds. So my PB walleye is 34 and a half.
34 and a half, which will probably be about 25, 30 pounds?
Nah, it's probably 14 pounds, 15 pounds.
If I caught it, probably about 30 pounds.
I got to get your scale. Can we use his scale tomorrow?
I can hook you up.
Just when you weigh in, right?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So what is, for you, Craig, on our list of events, which one are you looking forward to the most?
All of them.
Okay.
Man, you can't be that.
No, I just love to fish, man, and I love every lake there is. But if I had to pick one.
There you go. So you just got to put the screws to them a little bit.
Pick one you don't. Pick one that.
One that's going to be tough. I'm going to pick one that's going to be tough, and Grand's going to be tough for me. I mean, I'm not even saying here I'm going to go whack them or anything, but I'm just saying as it sets up, being from Ohio, shallow water anglers, I mean, that's a big deal.
16 hours away.
Yeah, 16 hours away. But it fishes a lot like home.
You say that to every lake, though. You came out here and says, man, I think
this
is going to fish like Lake
Erie. Well, it's because we're doing
Erie.
so many techniques out at home. Well, look, it's Lake Erie, so we can go 30 foot, we can go 0 foot, we can do everything. Clean water, river, muddy water, and that's what makes us well-rounded.
Yeah, exactly. We're pretty spoiled.
How about you, Rick? What are you looking forward to or not looking forward to?
I'll go with the worst. I am not looking forward to Right Pat.
Oh, really?
At all.
What?
I'll be the first person I've heard say that.
Yeah.
I'm not looking forward to that one. That one,
tell me, why not?
I just can't find any information about it. And the information you find about it, they're kayakers. Okay. And it's like, well, okay, you don't do me any good because I'm sorry, nothing offense, but I can't get in 6 inches of water.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I can't, they're fishing areas that I just don't think I can get to. And so, I can probably use the pattern, but will the pattern work where my boat bottoms out? who knows?
Jeez, man, like that. I would think
Post-spawn.
Texas boys, stumps, shallow water, go time.
Again,
son.
but that's another one for him and I. That's 18 hours away. So
Right
it's
on.
like,
Yeah, I've never been there either. I've never been to any of these places
Bring
pretty
it.
much.
you Google
That's what I
that.
said.
You Google that. And if you actually Google it and say I'm walking there, it takes you 13 and a half days.
So you've done that.
I've done that.
You got a lot
got a
of
lot
spare
of
time. on
time.
your
I'm a
hands.
truck driver, so I just stare out a window all day.
And on your
There we
phone,
go.
huh?
Yeah.
The hammer down southbound
Yeah.
driver.
But then the one I'm looking forward to is the Harris Chain. My in-laws live there, and I've been in that lake every month of the calendar year.
Oh, really?
For the last 6 years. So I'm really looking forward to the Harris Chain.
Nice. And how about that time of the year? It seems like it's a unique time of the year for Harris Chain.
It's actually really unique because I don't believe any other tour has ever been to that lake.
I was using unique. I don't know any other word to use, but yeah, it's
That was good. That was a
yeah.
good word. Nice job.
They have never
we
been
won't
there.
have anybody else.
Normally they go February, March.
Right on.
Spawn.
And then, they go to spawn, and obvious reasons. And that's typically when, and then June and July, the colleges get there and the high school nations get there and then the Bass Nation gets there. But as in major tours, they're done in March.
Right on.
So for us being there in June or Memorial Day week area, it's going to be fantastic. I don't think these guys have any idea how good this fishing is.
No,
That's
we're
what
going
I'm
to see
talking
some
about.
big bags there, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel
Heck
that.
yeah.
Absolutely.
It's going to be a
Good
little
deal.
different.
Yeah.
We got any questions, boss man?
No questions. Just a lot of comments. Corey Dreyer,
Yeah.
who we know, it was like, hey, you better listen to those kayakers.
I know. See?
He's a stick too, Corey. Corey can whack him in a yak. Ain't no doubt about that.
All right.
We can get you, actually. We'll just get you
Someone
blowing
keeps-
across the
Some
flats.
people keep
just
let's go kayak fishing, man. I'm 6'5", 270. I am not getting in a kayak.
But they have them out there that can handle you like nothing. They got them that can handle me, but I've got.
There's handling, and then there's comfortable handling.
And then there's gators.
I'm with you.
And then
And then
there's
there's
the
gators.
12-foot
Yeah.
gators. I seen them here today. No kayak and a
I've
gator.
got a hard enough time getting up out of a chair, much less getting up out of a kayak to stand. I'm
Right.
good, bro.
Dock your boat. That's a whole nother game.
Yeah, I would be laying on my belly like a daggone walrus trying to cast.
Comfort roll.
Yeah, I can't even.
Comfort roll.
Hey, guys, so we got a question. Scott Christie wants to know from each of you guys, what's your plan for breaking down this lake? How did you attack it? What was your plan
Great
for practice?
question.
And how are you breaking it down? What's
Absolutely.
your methodology?
You want me to go?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead,
Go for it,
Craig.
man.
Well,
see how wrong I am.
Well, I just kind of started by the time of the year and then doing research from there. So once I figured out time of the year, the water color, the water temperature, I formulate a game plan. Then I'm looking for pre-spawn areas that are leading into spawning areas. So you know where they want to be. They want to be in the backs of these creeks, in the backs of these coves, or maybe it's the first pocket off the main river, but they're wanting to come to the bank, so you know that. So you can I prefer to, since I'm a shallow water fisherman, I prefer to start shallow and work my way deep, and then it's a bunch of reaction baits right now. I mean, to actually come here and pre-fish and flip,
Right.
I'm not covering water. I'm not learning nothing. I need to find a concentration. So I have found in the springtime, chatter baits, spinner baits, reaction baits. I mean, it depends on where you're at and what bait's good, but definitely just finding those tight contour lines. It might be a channel swing tight up against a bank or something, but paying attention to everything. I mean, what actually goes down to break down the water? I mean, Fat Cat, Rick.
Yeah, I know.
mean, there's
I could-
so much.
We're gonna need.
I know it all.
We're gonna need way more than this 35 minutes
Oh,
we
yeah,
got.
for sure. But no, that's where I would start. I mean,
yeah,
just paying
that's-
attention to tight contours, the river channels, and the flats, and the seasonal patterns, and then go from there.
That's what I did the same. I pretty much did the same thing. I just kind of looked at the time frame, the warming trends we're having, and what was happening 2 weeks prior, and I pretty much I'm not gonna say I'm all in, but right now 90% of my chips are in the shallow bag right now.
Is that right?
Yeah, because I think up shallow you have a better chance of catching both spawns and the pre-spawn. You're gonna catch the pre-spawns coming in, and then you have a chance of catching those spawners already on the beds. I think me personally, if you isolate yourself to the brush piles, you're only catching either the spawned out ones, which are going to weigh 2 to 3 pounds less, or you're going to be in between waves of the bass coming in.
And that could be a good thing. I mean,
I'm not
some
saying it's
brush
a
out there. I mean, if you
it's-
have fish coming and fish going,
Right.
and you end up in the middle, and you have them
I
coming
just,
and going,
I
and
just,
it's like,
yeah,
damn,
I just
that's
feel like
perfect.
up shallow, you're getting both.
And
Yeah.
when are they more
Yeah.
likely to eat, on the way in or the way out?
Actually, on the way in.
On the way in,
Because
right.
after
On the
they're
way
done
out, they're
spawning,
done. Right.
they're pretty beat up. They just want to rest up, you know. And the male's up there doing his job, protecting the bed and stuff, doing what he does. But those females are going to pull out. They're just going to set up on a big laydown. And you might be able, and that's the time of year where it takes multiple presentations. And even this time of year, you see a laydown, and when you see it and you think, oh, man, it's right on a channel swing, the water depth's right, don't make one presentation to it. Make 3 or 4 presentations to it, because even more than that, sometimes that's what it takes to get that bite.
Man, why did I volunteer to sit next
That's
to you,
that good
man?
stuff. Listen,
You
you
make
my
me sound
bad,
dumb.
my bad.
You make me sound dumb, bro.
Whatever. I love it, bro.
got a question?
Yeah, we got another question. Gary Staggs wants to know, will there be fish caught sight fishing, looking at them this week
Good
on
question.
Lake Eufaula?
I asked that question a few
Absolutely.
times at the ramp.
I think
Absolutely.
with Thursday's supposed to be 80, and then Friday's going to be 80, and then Saturday's supposed to be 84,
I
something
see
like
them,
that.
I
Something
see
like
them
that.
swimming.
And I think, there's some creeks that are clear enough that it'll warm up by then.
Fishing for 50,000,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Awesome.
How much time do you spend sight fishing? How much? I guess it depends on the size. How much time will you allow on one fish?
As a sight fisherman, I mean, like, so you have 3 days of practice. So if I went out all days of practice and look for sight fish, by the time the first day of the tournament comes, those fish are gone. So I'll spend my last day of practice looking for any fish that moved up, so I know when we go out in the tournament, if I find some good ones, they're locked on. If I pull into them and they're actually locked on, I will know before I even go to them if they were a catchable fish, and I can tell by the way they react to my bait or the way they react to my bait in the bed. And it just I mean, if it's the right size, I'll spend an hour if I got 5, maybe an hour and a half. It just depends on what's in the box.
I can answer this for you. I went to a public school, so someone's going to help me. So whatever 8 hours divided by 5 bites is, that's how long I'll spend per fish.
Is that right?
Yeah,
Wow.
it's a public school
Wow.
math.
Yeah, I got you. I'm down with that life. Yeah.
Super easy.
Yeah.
We got that.
Do you think that'll play a big part of this tournament as a whole? Like, do you think sight fishing will be a big part of this
I
tournament?
don't think it'll go all
You
the
don't
way
think so?
through.
I think it has to.
Really?
Yeah.
Not all the way
'Cause
through.
I think it has to, because I think you're going to need those 7-pound kickers. You know, and I think
What are we looking at for a big fish here? We saw what happened the other week. What are we looking like? You think
You're
we're going to see
probably
something?
pushing 8.5, I would say. Someone's going to get one of those big pre-spawn females. I mean,
I was going to
don't.
say I caught an 8 today, but
I mean,
just saying.
yeah.
Somebody caught an 8 today, huh? Mm-hmm. That's the one that was full of eggs.
Yeah.
You bring it back. We're going to cook it up tonight. Is that what we're having for dinner?
It was one of those quietly, I don't know what just happened, and I sat down on my bottom of my
You
boat.
know
and-
what happened.
I know what
Don't
happened.
talk to him like that. You
I'm
know
a
what
fisherman. I
happened.
never
Yeah,
lie.
know,
I never
know.
lie.
You know what
And
happened.
yeah, I got in the boat and just kind of went, what the heck just happened? And I sat down, had to collect my thoughts to start over again.
But it was a time window for that bite.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, and, like, catching that fish in practice can be yes? Okay. Catching that fish in practice could be one of those things like, okay, it makes me feel better about something, but yet
I just won practice.
there you go.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
thinking about, so we're going to see how NPFL goes. If this goes good, we're going to open up another trail. It's going to be a pre-fishing trail. And I'll
Yes,
probably,
I'm all
you know what I
answer-
mean?
all
Someone
answer
can-
for that.
Someone has to confirm this, but I heard the runner-up trophies in the ladies' room. Is that where they're putting
Yeah.
it?
Maybe.
Is that where they're holding it at?
These two dudes right here, I'm just sitting back. You guys aren't hearing me talking much because, especially that one over there, won't shut up. But everything they're talking
Come
about is
on
on
now.
point, man. Like, you can tell this dude's talking. Rick just sits back and follows him around and learns
We
from.
made some phone calls today. didn't
Yeah, we
buddy?
talked a little bit.
Yeah, we
So you
talked a
guys
little bit.
travel buddies? You guys travel around or what?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we roomed together, and we've been friends for fucking
I don't
5
even
years
know,
now.
man,
Something
a
like
long
freaking
time.
5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So has that ever come down to where you guys were actually fishing against each other for a spot or for money? Or
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
But
yeah.
it's with my buddy. But when we're on the water, it's like, man, I hope you lose
That's
that fish.
that's exactly,
Just
man.
playing.
That's what the big saying is. We have our fishing family. We're family until
It
they
is,
call
it's
boat
tight.
numbers.
Was there? So we're going all these different places. All these new things are coming at us. Were there any names that you heard that were fishing this that may have caught you off guard? Like, is there any name that you're like, oh, this guy that maybe that's going to be a stick? Is there somebody that's just a name that stands out in the field?
Yeah.
So you're trying to ask me who I'm scared of? Is that what you're trying
There
to
we go, yeah.
beat around the bush? Okay. I'm not scared of anybody, to be honest with you.
There you go. Well, it's that one guy that's going to –
the way I look at it is –
You know what I'm talking about, Bobby. Answer my question.
Man.
Come on, man.
I'm just saying I'm not scared of anybody because, like I've always said in my whole career, it's
Well,
like
how about this?
you might outfish me, but you're not going to outwork me.
Is there anyone's fishing skills you may respect more than others that are fishing NPFL?
To be honest with you, I'll put this on the line right now. How do you say his last name? Robert Turkula.
Rob Turkula?
Yeah, the Lunkers TV. Mm-hmm. Man, he threw his name in the hat. This guy has so much animosity going and hatred from his fans or whatever you want to call it that he's just doing something that's way out of his comfort zone. He's been a YouTube fisherman for, 11 years or something like that?
Yeah.
And he decided, I'm gonna go fish.
Yeah.
And he gives no Fs. He doesn't care.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you
man,
know?
he's a rare breed.
He is.
Carving
I give
his
him
own path.
Yeah,
man.
I give him
In
credit
this-
because I couldn't do that.
No, not in this
I
industry.
couldn't.
They'll eat you
No,
alive,
absolutely. Right. I'm soft and gentle.
Yeah, man, social media is a monster. It can definitely be a monster.
Yeah.
It can make you or break
Yeah.
you. It just depends on what you're going to let it do.
Right.
At the end of the day.
Exactly.
And he has put himself out there. He's been all over the place. And,
Yeah.
And
Anyone know how did he do in Harris? Didn't he just fish Harris Chain last week or something like that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I have to figure that out.
He what did he do? I've read it earlier. I think he was happy with his performance. He had a bad first day.
Okay.
And then figured some stuff out and was able to make something happen.
There you go.
I think.
Very good. Very good.
I'll give you a name.
There we go, Craig.
Nick Pranazak. When it comes to
I thought you were gonna say
with
my
Dan
name.
Blackert and Fisherman Central, when it comes to, I've competed against that guy for a while. He's played at the higher levels. He understands how to manage fish, and he also understands like how to catch those deeper fish that are spawning that we don't necessarily. All the fish that are spawning not are on the bank. There's some that are off the bank, and he understands, and that's where he understands how those fish set up. So it can be muddy water, and he'll just, he knows where they're spawning. So I would say he'll be there for sure. He's a pretty good hammer.
Good deal. We're about done. Is there anything you want to say to the folks at home, Rick, or any sponsors? Anything you want to give a shout out to before we kick you off the couch?
Yeah, it's real simple. My last name's Langenderfer. There's no hidden syllables. Just say it and spell it. It's really easy.
Yeah, is that how can they follow you, Bobby? I mean, tighten up.
You can follow me on
three
social
people
media.
watching right now.
I know. All four of my fans.
Hey, it goes up, man.
But you can follow me on Facebook, Rick Langenderfer Professional Angler. Instagram is Rick Langenderfer. I might have a Twitter somewhere. That's my wife's account. I really don't know that one. You can
Right here at the NPFL, man.
right. I guess you can
They
follow
can follow us
I'll
Thursday,
sign
Friday,
autographs.
Saturday.
If you mention me and say you saw this, I'll sign a hat and give you a hat tomorrow.
Boom goes the dynamite. Craig, tell them what's up, buddy.
Well, you can follow me at Bass Angler Live. I mean, we shoot the podcast. We have all the NPFL anglers on there. And you can also follow me at all social media platforms, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, you name it. We got it at Burwell Angling. So that's what it is. And we look forward to seeing you guys there. And if you have any questions for us, just feel free to shoot us a message.
Absolutely.
Awesome, guys. Appreciate you guys.
Thanks,
how
Fat
we doing?
Cat.
Yeah, man. Love you. I don't know how we're doing the transition right now, Bobby. We're going to go into the. Oh, look!
Boom.
Fancy, fellas.
Love it.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap up segment one. Rick Langenderfer, Craig Burwell, thank you very much. You guys can exit stage left, please.
Awesome.
We'll bring our next two anglers in. We want to thank everybody for watching. Hey, B, about 200 people watching throughout that.
Oh,
so
nice.
thank
Strong.
you, right?
Right
Keep
on,
bringing
baby.
it.
Yeah.
Additionally, we like to thank
Appreciate you, homie. Love you, man. Appreciate you. Love you, bud. Appreciate you.
And while we swap out anglers, guys, we'd like to thank Lake Point Resort, Eufaula, Alabama, the big bass capital of the world, for hosting the National Professional Fishing League. And we're here at the resort. Beautiful facility. Make sure if you're in the area, you come down and check it out. Also, the city of Eufaula. Thank you, Miss Ann Sparks at the Chamber, for inviting us down here and putting on a great show for us. We're going to rotate in our next two anglers. We'll let them get settled in and get settled up.
Oh, David. I can't hear nothing you're saying. You got to just pretend we're in a helicopter right now. You got your helicopter headgear on.
Who's Bobby?
Who knows, bro? We've been saying Bobby since '87.
87.
Yeah,
All right,
that's
guys,
another one of those.
Just pull the mics up there, kind of outside your mouth, right on the corner. Tighten it up a little bit, Stu.
Bring it on. Oh, yeah. Don't put it in your mouth, Bobby. There you go. Get it right up in there. Oh, yeah.
Is that good?
Very good. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, here we are with our next two anglers. Stu Martell and David. How do I say your last name?
Ho Heisel.
Ho Heisel. This ought to be fun. David Hoheisel and Stu Martell. Well, folks, let's get into this bad boy. I'm going to ask you some of the same questions I asked the other two guys. I already forgot their names. I'm just kidding. Craig and Rick. We're on this, baby. I'm just making jokes.
Hashtag he won.
David,
Yes.
you familiar with Eufaula?
I fished 2 years ago. I fished a championship here and didn't get a chance to pre-fish. So started today. Very interesting day. I'm such a great fisherman, I decided to give the field a 2-pound lead on me.
Okay.
I actually broke a rule today.
Okay.
And I was idling without my life jacket. Ooh. Called in, said, hey, I broke a rule. So I'll be starting the tournament 2 pounds behind everybody. But that's just going to make me
Give me this. I just want some of that right there.
Yeah, man.
It's just going to make me fish harder.
Yeah, bro. So
Total respect.
So you were fishing. You got down on your boat, turned the big motor on, started idling.
Yep.
And you got about how far into the idle were you?
About 400 yards probably.
There we go. And then you realize, hey, forgot to put my jacket on.
Actually, I just started fishing. That's how close from the ramp. I just started fishing, and it wasn't until I was leaving that I realized, hey, I want to leave the creek. My life jacket was sitting right there, and I was like, man, you broke a rule. Well, so I won't do that again.
Catch a 6, you'll be fine.
That's right.
I will say this on behalf of NPFL, we appreciate your integrity.
Oh,
you know what I mean? It's huge. Yeah. So thanks. Hey, past that, how'd it go?
So I struggled a little bit today.
Yeah.
I had one little stretch that I caught 1 keeper, 4 shorts. I went to check an area that I'd fished 2 years ago.
Okay.
It's not looking good. So I'm scrapping everything and going to run about 40 miles and check some new water out tomorrow.
When you go to check the new water out, what exactly are you checking out? What are you looking for?
Well, me personally, I'm a shallow water fisherman. So the guys that are doing the brush piles and the ledges, I'm not going to compete with that. And so my whole style is shallow, and that's what I'm looking for.
I can dig that.
Yeah, and it could get good for me. I didn't see a lot of fish shallow today. But in the next couple of days, it's definitely going to warm up. I think there's fish sitting out there waiting to get shallow. I'm sure some guys have found some areas that they are shallow. I haven't, but hopefully tomorrow I will.
All right. Stu, how about you, Bubba? Eufaula, man. We talked a little bit earlier, but
We did.
tell me about your experience on Eufaula today.
Today was my first day ever on this humongous body of water, and I was quite impressed with it. I spent 3/4 of my day on the electronics. I got a late start and then spent most of my day on the electronics. And, this place is famous for brush piles. And, I may have missed them because, I put 400 miles in on this place and I saw a couple. Maybe they were brush piles. I circled back around and did not see what I wanted to see on those piles. But still spent a good amount of time looking for those and will again tomorrow, as well as the third day of practice. And then the last hour of my day, I went up shallow because, Eufaula fish deep in the morning and go up shallow later in the day and spent about an hour up there looking around, saw some interesting things, put 1 fish in the boat, but really worked hard for that 1 fish. So, but I spent the whole day today from Lake Point here south, and that could take a guy a lifetime to learn, right?
Yeah, right on.
But I went right to the basics. I quadrant the areas out. I look for the good bit, the bays that they'll spawn in or the creeks, and then back out. I always, I'm different than the earlier gentleman. I'll start out deep and work my way in because. It's harder to learn the offshore stuff and practice it than it is to practice the shallow stuff. Pitching a worm or pitching a jig under a dock, it is what it is. You might be able to figure out which areas are holding more fish. So I spend more time offshore. That's what I love to do. I can hold my own shallow. I cut my teeth shallow. But I do think that you're going to see some big fish come off of beds. But your big bags, your consistent 3-day bags are coming from either in between or off. They're not going to come from up top.
Right on.
They're going to come from in between or they're going to come from off. So that fish I caught shallow today, I was telling a couple guys, that thing was like holding a bag of ice. So, you may see some fish in some creeks that have spawned out. But what I saw this fish wasn't spawned out, and it was a buck. So I mean, whatever.
Well,
It's not going to be
whatever,
spawned out.
Bobby.
Yeah. Hey, who's Bobby?
I don't know. Right now, you are. And after this comment, he'll probably be Bobby.
Okay.
Hey, so you're Carolina boy? Where are you from? Ohio? What is that? I thought it was a daggone Denver tackle shirt.
No.
Columbus.
Columbus Fishing Expo. You're looking good. I remember you coming to the expo a couple years ago with Fisherman Central.
Yeah, man. That was a wild expo. Columbus.
Yep.
Ohio boy. We've got a lot of Ohio boys. Where are you from?
Chicago.
Oh.
Good
how
pizza
about
up there,
Yeah.
Cat. Come up north, man. Have some
So,
deep dish.
I'm all about that life. You fish against Rick and Craig?
So I do. I actually run the Great Lakes Largemouth Series. They both fish it with me, and they take my money almost every other weekend.
So you run a series.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh,
The
wow.
Great Lakes Largemouth Series.
How about that? So how'd the whole thing come along with NPFL? And like, how'd you get in?
You know, I thought about it, and it was the right time. I'm 53, and if you don't do it now, when are you going to do it? When you're 60?
Yes, sir.
And so I just said, you know what, this is the time to commit 2-3 years. I just want to see how I compete against these guys. These are the best sticks around, and that's what I'm looking forward to, just see how I can stand up against them.
Right on. How about you, Stu? How'd you hear about NPFL and your whole how'd you begin your relationship with the league?
Well, when these guys first announced it, they bombed the entire media, network, Ike's show, everybody's show, and so that's where I heard about it, and it just sort of stuck in me, this is a great idea, and I went through the whole open. I dabbled with the opens from 07 to 13, and from what I heard, the structure of this program was perfect for a guy like me. So I fished a head-to-head. I got a phone call, and I was all in from that day forward.
Right on.
And so I'm from Chicago. I fish a lot of northern Illinois lakes and then southern Wisconsin lakes.
Okay.
So maybe in a couple of years they'll come up in our body of the water, water that we like to fish.
Well,
Who knows?
we can get the NPFL up to Green Bay or
Sandusky.
Sandusky.
Oh, yeah?
Sandusky would love,
I hear a lot about
love to have us.
What about Mosquito?
Mosquito Lake.
Mosquito Bay.
What about that place?
Mosquito is a great fishery.
Yeah.
One of the better inland lakes in Ohio.
That's all I hear about when I go up to do a Columbus show, hang out with the Ohio
That's
boys.
Mosquito.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mosquito is good. I don't know that Mosquito is big enough for 125
Oh, that'd be fun.
field. Yeah.
Well,
I mean, hey, it would be great for us because we wouldn't have to travel so far.
Hey, don't get me wrong. We're headed to Winnebago, guys, this
No, that's right.
summer. So we are headed up to my way.
Yes,
Right.
that's right.
I've been on Winnebago twice in my life. So
What about? How do you feel about us going to Winnebago? Like with that being said, what's your take on it?
well, it's right next to Mercury's power plant, so that's really special. And I think Winnebago's going to fish well. It's one of those lakes where it could be, 12 pounds a day, right in the middle of the pack and so on and so forth. And then somebody squeaks out a couple big ones and wins the tournament. Or, if someone can get on that offshore bite and the wind is blowing in the right direction, you could see a great bag of smallmouth come out off of that place. And I actually look forward to it. And
Is that the one that you're looking forward to the most on the schedule?
yeah, well, for the reason that it's 3 hours from my house. So, and I'm back and forth from there in northern Wisconsin all the time, so I could stop off and spend a couple hours there, not a problem. And I'm planning on it.
Right on. How about you, David? Which one are you looking forward to the most?
That's a good question. I think I like them all. This is the only lake that I've actually fished before.
Oh, okay.
So
Interesting.
all the lakes, I just want to get out and fish them. Wright Patman is going to be a shallow bite, I believe. And so that should.
I don't think you have any other option at Wright Patman.
That's what from what I've learned about the lake, and I think that's going to fit my style. Hopefully.
There you go. I have a question for you because I didn't realize you had ran a series. Mm-hmm. We're running a 3-day event, and we're running 110 anglers all 3 days.
Right.
What's your take on having a final day full field?
I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
For example, I fished another tour a couple years ago. And
You can say what tour it was. I mean,
it was a Ram Series,
Okay.
a championship, Ray Scott. And first day, I think I blanked. There's tornadoes, cold front, real bad conditions. I blanked the first day. Second day, about noon, I didn't have a fish. I told my non-boater, we've got another hour. I'm just going to put on the trailer. Let's go home. He didn't have a fish the first day. And then I had bought this real big black and blue worm at the expo. And I told the guy from Canada, I said, that worm might work good down on the Red River. And I thought about that about 12 o'clock. I put the Carolina rig on. I backed off the bank. I'd fish and shell, started dragging. I caught 2 3-pounders. So I had 6 pounds, went back to the third day, and it was 38 degrees. I had a gal from Florida in the boat. She had a real thin rain suit on. It's raining, and she's shivering.
Oh, man.
And I'm from Ohio. I've got my ice gear, my boots. I'm ready to go. And I was running all the way down the river. And I said, you know what? We're just going to stay right here by the ramp. There's a little pond there. And
a lot of guys wouldn't have done that. A lot of guys probably wouldn't have done that.
I wasn't really, at the time, didn't think I had a chance to make the money. But that's where I'm getting to.
Let me ask you this. If you thought you did have a chance, would you have said, hey, honey?
That's what I was going to say, is that's what I think is so great about our series. Is I ended up catching 12 pounds. I lost 5 fish weighing 15 pounds. Every big fish I had within a 100-yard stretch, very close to the ramp and some wood. I moved from 104th to 36th and cashed a check. So that's what's great about this series is you might, if you don't catch a fish the first day, you're not going to win the tournament, but that doesn't mean you can't finish 36 and cash a check.
There we go.
So that is a great advantage that you're not out of the tournament because it's a 3-day event.
Yeah, because at 36, what is 36? That's just 36, 37, 36 to bubble. What does that pay? So the folks at home know.
$9,000.
Yeah.
36.
They're going to get – the owners are giving $500,000 away.
I think each purse is $425. $425,000 purse at each tournament. We're going to pay back to 36 spot, which will be $9,000. It's strong, man. That's right. So you have guys out there fishing for first place, and actually you have guys fishing for 36th place.
That's right. It's insane.
And because when you can finish 36 and make $9,000, put that money, that keeps you afloat. That gives you something. Yeah, it's not first at 50, but you get 36 at 9. That makes you stay in the black is what I'm trying to say. That
for sure.
It gives you confidence,
especially when you're a blue collar grassroots dude, where you don't have the full bank account and everything and the luxury of others to where that.
Right.
It's kind of like why they made it the way it is, so we could have guys.
Yeah.
You got guys that are going to leave a tournament Saturday, go back Sunday, get a nap, and Monday morning go back to work probably.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Sure.
And
maybe Tuesday.
Maybe Tuesday, right. Us old guys don't drive the night before. We might be a couple of the older guys in the tour. But what I wanted to say, too, though, if you can finish in the top 36 for the 6 events, you will qualify in the top 25. So then you're fishing for $50,000 with no entry fee. I believe 25th is $4,000, $5,000, and that's a free roll. So it's not always about finishing first.
Right.
Of course, we'd all like to win $50,000. That's the big prize. But if you can stay consistent and stay in the top 36, you'll do very well.
Yeah.
Here we go. What's your take on it, Stu?
I would give away any of the first places, which pay more. I would give any one of those away for Angler of the Year, which pays a little bit less right now in this league.
There we go.
That is why I'm here. I mean, I want to be a consistently good angler. And
what do you think it takes to be consistently good? Like for you yourself, like what's to be happy with yourself? What?
So I'm 50, so I've been fishing for a long time, and you really your head game has to be in the right place. You can't get psyched out. You have to be patient. You just have to have a lot of different abilities and be flexible on the water. I planned for this lake for months. I show up today and nothing that I planned played out. Right. I was like, okay, scrap that, do this, so, but hopefully that'll, being flexible and in the moment and fishing forward, I will be able to put 5 in the boat that are good enough to keep me, in the top contention of this league before the season's over with.
All right. You were up close to the bank today. You said you were in that skinny water, checking it out. You see Allie the alligator out there? What is Frank the alligator? I've never seen any before, but they showed me pictures today. They're out there chilling.
No, there's a lot of big alligators. I saw a bunch of them 2 years ago. Now, I was fishing, is it south of the dam? I'm assuming south.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, south. Yeah. And I didn't see any where I was at. But a couple years ago, fishing north, monsters.
Giants.
And old boy showed me a
Giants.
video today of a 10-footer.
Really?
Yeah, just sunning up on the bank.
I've got pictures of 2 of them, that 10, 12-footers. Actually, though, right out here in the mouth, there's a little cut to the right before you leave. And 2 years ago, I'm fishing down the bank, and I'm flipping pretty fast. Flip, flip, flip. And then you know how you're driving, you know something's to the right of you?
Yeah.
I got that feeling. And I'm flipping, and I look over. There's this alligator paralleling the boat. And I was cruising. I was flipping fast. Was parallel, and I know he was just thinking, please, fat guy, fall off the boat. That's what he – and he was cruising. And I looked over, and I was like, man, I don't know how those guys stick their hands to get the fish out of the
I'm down with that. I would noodle in a heartbeat, but I'm not scared of alligators. Dude, you kidding me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I used to get in steel cages and fight Alaskan bear back in '87.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You had a big year in '87.
Oh, '87 was great. I tried to talk them into having a
born
steel
in
cage.
'87?
I don't even know. Yeah, I was reborn in '87.
Yeah.
Yeah, we having a steel cage match down here. I was trying to get them to have that, like, in between weigh-ins and stuff like that. I would jump off a top rope with a flying elbow, like Jimmy Superfly Snuckle.
Right.
You got anything on there? Hit me with something. What are we talking about? Give me some.
So same question, guys are like, hey, predictions on weights, what are you guys looking at for this week, based on what you saw today and where you are?
Yeah, so we're just going to talk about the same thing we talked about with the other guys. You guys got anything? Prediction, big bag for the tournament.
I'm gonna be a little bit different. Everyone's calling for a huge. It can happen.
Okay.
If the guy finds the right creek and they move in, and I think they can catch a big bag. But the one thing I've noticed fishing today, there's a lot of pressure. I mean, every creek I went into had 10 boats in it, and this is, well, it is a Sunday, so maybe Monday and Tuesday there'll be less pressure. I think there's a lot of pressure on this lake. They've had 3 or 4 big events.
Yep.
I think the guy who can catch 20 pounds a day is probably going to win the tournament. That's my opinion.
Consistently,
I think 20 pounds, only because of pressure. Now, I could be totally wrong, and there's a lot of guys that know this place way better than I do.
Yeah.
Rick caught an 8-pounder today.
So he says.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ohio guys don't lie.
So you're saying you probably see 20-pound sack. You probably won't get much bigger than a 20-pound sack.
To win it, average 60 pounds.
Okay, we're looking at 6, but as a surprise,
as a
one
surprise,
bag, one day. Wait.
I'm going to go – I don't think it's going to go over 25 pounds.
Okay, how about you, Stu?
I think we might see a 26-pound bag.
Okay.
The same guy might bring in 12 pounds the next day. So who knows?
Can you see anybody bringing – I don't want to be redundant and talk in circles, but you think we'll see anybody bring in a bag of bedfish?
A few.
Okay.
I don't know if they're going to bring all 5. We'll find out on Thursday, I guess.
And
that'll be about the only day bedfish will play because – well, by Friday, most of them will be gone, and you can't ask.
Think so? You think by Friday most of them will be gone?
I think so. I do. There might be 1 or 2 more pull up, but by Saturday, 110 or 100 plus guys are full field go back out. Those fish are plucked already. The ones that are going to pull up, in my opinion, are going to pull up by Thursday morning, Friday.
Okay.
Yeah.
So another question, guys. So let's talk about forward-facing sonar. We've seen it play in Major League here in the beginning of the season.
I know he doesn't care about it. He's a shallow man.
I got it on my boat, and it's not turned on right. So.
But I tell you,
You have it facing backwards, don't you?
It does. My thing's going on the back, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not getting any deeper than 4 feet. I haven't messed with it.
how about you, Stu? Forward-facing imaging.
I've been using forward-facing sonar since Garmin came out with Panoptix, the 2D, which was years and years and years ago, and not that many years, but a long time ago. And then immediately when LiveScope came out, I got that and started playing with it on all the lakes I fish. And it's been super helpful and beneficial to me. everyone's going to apply it to their lakes and their skills and their knowledge differently. There is definitely not a one-fits-all. Out here, I went out today and used it and tried to, repeat what Dustin Connell did during the last derby that he won here. And, that's his thing. That's his skill. So whatever he did with that jerk bait and whatever he was seeing on his, nobody is going to be able to repeat that exactly. Kevin Van Dam teaches us how to use his stuff, and we're not perfect, and we can't repeat it exactly. So, but the forward facing is going to play here. It's just that it may not be utilized the exact same way Dustin used it.
Right.
I caught some fish, and I caught one fish today, and it definitely helped, but it was shallow. When I say shallow for me, I'm going to say it's, under 5 feet. And I definitely found a lot of stuff. And I could see that with it, I could see, they don't like what I'm giving them.
Okay.
So don't do that again. Even if I don't see them on the rig, I'm like, oh, look at him go right off. So don't move the bait that way.
Okay, so with
at least in that moment,
forward-facing imaging, and it's a weird analogy, the weird way I look at it, but kind of like when you ride with someone and they have a new car and they have that rear view, that backup camera in their dash.
Yep.
And you get in a car with some people, that's all they rely on.
Yeah.
Okay? Me, not having that, I've always looked in my mirrors and used my mirrors and turned. It's a weird comparison, but do you think you'll find some people with that forward-facing imaging solely relying on that? And I know it works. It says fish are there, but it's still, to me, I've talked to some of the guys at the Classic at different places, and they said they'll pull up, they'll look at it. If they don't see anything on there, they're gone. It saves them so much time.
Yeah.
Then I talked to other guys. They said they don't care if they see anything or not. If it looks good, they're going to cast. And they say sometimes, even though it said nothing, they're still catching them,
yep.
whether it's on the back of the pile or somewhere in a shadow or to that nature. So the forward-facing imaging, comparing it to that reverse camera, do you think there's a comparison there where some people will rely too much on that?
For sure.
Yeah, I definitely. Since I've had Panoptics for a few years, and it doesn't lie. I mean, you'll be trolling along, and even if I fish shallow, but say it's 6-8 foot, I'll see one down. I drop a tube or a small bait down, and I'll catch it. But now with this forward, with the perspective mode, what I'm seeing is that shallow stump that I didn't see before. I used to run into it with my trolling motor in different shallows. So we're seeing the guys on the brush piles using the forward view. But I'm really interested in learning this perspective. I've heard guys saying that they can actually see the fish turn on a log when they flip their jig in now. I haven't experienced it yet.
Yeah.
But it's something that I think I can implement it into my game.
There we go. Nice. Okay.
So great question here, guys. B, if I may.
Yeah, buddy, bring it.
So some of the who is that?
Bobby.
So Bill Wilt wants to know, talk a little bit about the year of COVID, the pandemic, and how it affected your ability for sponsorships, and was that a player for you? Talk about the struggles and kind of how that played into you fishing NPFL and all that stuff.
Yeah. So, well, for me, COVID was wrapping up by the end of June. I mean, business-wise, the fishing industry had a phenomenal year. My main sponsorship is S&D Enterprises, and that's a family business that I'm involved in. My brother and my dad got behind. COVID definitely hurt. It hurt from Kevin. I mean, I don't know this personally, but from the top anglers all the way down to the basic anglers, somehow all anglers are affected. I'll be perfectly honest with everyone watching. Most of these patches you see, these are product sponsors, guys. There's no cash here, but I really support and appreciate all these products because like Phoenix Boat and Mercury and Scumfrog, this is a really expensive sport. And I really, really appreciate what they've done for me. And I want to do everything I can to make sure that they know that I'm out here, showing these manufacturers that I use their product and I catch fish and promote their stuff. And there's a reason why I'm with Scumfrog. I mean, I've only thrown one frog my entire life. I mean, there's only been one brand of frog in my boat for the past 20 years. Literally, it's been a scum frog. I mean, no other frog.
That's awesome.
So when Scum Frog said yes, I was excited. When Mustang said yes, I was excited. I've only used one life jacket all my life. It's been a Mustang. It's a premium life jacket, but man, it's awesome to fish from. And so that's my program. But COVID definitely has affected.
And real quick to touch on your sponsors, what you just said is something when the younger anglers or people that want to get into things, they want to know, how do I get sponsors, this and that. And what I would tell them, I'm not a guy with a lot of sponsors. I'm not a professional angler like you guys. But what I do tell them is fish with what you like, promote that, and just let it naturally work itself out. Because being involved with different companies, we would receive generic applications where they would just scratch out Zoom and then put in the company we work, and things like that. That's not how you get sponsors.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you enjoy throwing Omega and that's what you already throw Omega. If you already throw Zoom, throw it. And then when you make a post, hashtag it and things of that nature. It's a whole lot. It's easier when it's organic, but sometimes you got to get out there and push the product. Now that I've rambled on like I do, David, how did COVID affect you?
COVID affected me a lot. Owning the Columbus Fishing Expo, we had to cancel this year. So
stop! You owned it?
Yeah, I own the Columbus.
Oh
Fishing.
my gosh!
Yeah.
Okay, well, give me 1 second. For any of you that don't know what the Columbus Expo, the Fishing Expo is, it is wall-to-wall, treetop tall. Probably one of the best expos I go to every year. And I apologize, I didn't know that you ran it. The first time I went to it, blown away. What's another one? If anybody's been to the East Tennessee show, how big it is, and it's always jammed, normally has good booths. I'm going to put Columbus show up against it, and their food, bar none, nobody touches it. Bro, I'm telling you, they cook literally thousands of pounds of fish go out the door, and they got their food court is I'll go there just for that. I went there to eat and then realized they were selling fishing stuff. Right. But not to do a whole promo for Columbus Expo, but I'm letting you know it is the real deal. David?
I appreciate that.
Yeah, man, I'm sorry you had to cancel because of COVID and all that, because I know how huge it is.
Yep, we had to cancel Columbus and Cincinnati. We started a new one in Cincinnati. Last year was our first year. So I was personally, my family affected. But the one thing good that came about with COVID is we were able to do a virtual expo this year. And we had a lot of people that didn't like the fact that they couldn't come live. We had 380 people, which is not a lot. We get about 20,000 live. But what was fascinating was the first person on said, "Good morning from South Carolina." And the next person said, "Good morning from Alabama." And when I saw that, I was just like, that's what the virtual is about, because now my clients can sell products nationwide. And so that was really one of the another reason that I'm fishing is to promote the expos. I'm self-sponsored. Big Joshy Swim Baits does give me a little bit of money, and I appreciate that. Creeder Ford is the sponsor for the expo, so they cover a lot of the expenses. But to go back to the young people, at the Columbus Fishing Expo, we let all kids 17 and under in for free.
Nice.
So we've done that, and we get about 8,000 kids.
Parents, I'm telling you, it's very, very family friendly. If you get the opportunity to go next year, go. And speaking of next year, will you do virtual as well? If we are able?
Yeah, we're going to do it. It'll be simultaneous.
Absolutely.
So somebody can have a booth, and they can live stream from their booth to our virtual platform. But to answer the question, though, we got kind of sidetracked with the young kids and getting sponsorships. They're in so much better place than you and I were. I don't even know how.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know what Facebook is, and I don't know how to tag this. And I had to hire a kid to do all this stuff. These young kids know how to do it. Create a page. You don't have to be special. You don't have. Just go fishing.
Right.
Yeah.
Just go in a creek, catch some crawfish. People are fascinated with the truth. And if you have a good personality, and just stay with it and be consistent, and the sponsorships will come as you grow your social media platform. And we didn't have that opportunity.
No, we had to fish.
Right on.
Yeah.
All right. Closing words.
Yeah.
You want to give anybody a shout out? Tell anybody where to find you? Stu?
Yeah, you guys can find me at Stu Martell Fishing on Facebook and Basszilla on Instagram. I want to shout out right now to Dave Locander at Twin Lakes Marine, Twin Lakes, Wisconsin. Anyone looking for a Phoenix bass boat, you're within a couple hours drive of Twin Lakes, Wisconsin. Get over to Twin Lakes Marine. Great people.
Thank you, Stu. How about you, David?
Like I said, I had to hire a young man to handle my social media for Dave Hoheisel Fishing. So you can start there, and then we'll be sharing that to the Columbus and Cincinnati Fishing Expo pages.
Awesome. Appreciate you guys. Looking forward to see what you guys do this season, and good luck here at Eufaula.
Thank you.
Cat.
Folks at home, appreciate you guys for tuning in, man. Fat Cat Newton, National Professional Fishing League, saying good night. See you next time.
There you go, guys. Mr. Fat Cat Newton and the crew coming at you live from Lake Eufaula at the big bass capital of the world. We'll be here tomorrow night, 19:30 for you military types. 7:30 p.m. We'll come live to you with 4 more anglers. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to tune in live Thursday at 8 a.m. We flip the switch on the National Professional Fishing League. See ya.